Welcome to the Preschool Information Session for the 2022-2023 school year. I am the Supervisor of Early Childhood, Lauren Eakin. Together with various members of the Early Childhood team, we will be providing you with an overview of the Hoboken Public Schools Early Childhood Program. Our preschool team has created a successful active learning environment where all students are given the opportunity to blossom into innovative learners prepared to thrive in the 21st century. I anticipate an educational journey that will instill a love for learning in each and every student that we service. The Hoboken Early Childhood Program has been happily partnering with Miles Square and Hopes Cap Inc. for many years to serve our youngest learners as they take their first steps in their academic journey. Both our providers follow the New Jersey Recommended and Improved Tools of the Mind curriculum. Later in this presentation, you will hear more about this curriculum. Established in 1979, Miles Square has offered Hoboken families daily, dependable, and safe early childhood educational experiences. Throughout the years, the notion of childcare has changed to reflect developmentally appropriate practices, much like it's implemented at Hoboken Public School District's Early Childhood Program. Miles Square continues to present an environment that fosters creativity using the resources at hand and the diversity of the multicultural atmosphere that is both the center's and Hoboken's strong point. Opportunities for learning are readily available in such an urban environment, and they are utilized whenever possible. This type of collaborative effort between Miles Square and other local agencies has proved fruitful to their educational philosophy and has enabled the Miles Square staff to enhance their classroom teaching ability by attending workshops, seminars, and trainings. Hopes Cap Inc. was founded in 1964 under President Lyndon B. Johnson's administration, signing the Economic Opportunity Act. As a CAP organization, Hopes helps people to help themselves in achieving self-sufficiency through its various programs. In 1966, Hopes implemented one of the first established Head Start programs in the country. Since then, Hopes' early childhood programs, Early Head Start, and state-funded preschool have expanded beyond Hoboken while providing the same high-quality educational programs for children and support services for their families. The Hoboken Early Childhood Program is NACE accredited and has collaborated with the Hoboken Board of Education since 1998. Hopes' qualified team of teachers, teacher assistants, education supervisors, mental health and disability specialists, health supervisor, nutrition specialist, and family and community partnership specialist work as an interdisciplinary team to address the complete needs of the child and their families in a safe, supportive, and developmentally appropriate setting. I'll start our presentation by discussing what it means to be a former Abbott district and why that is so important to us. 30 years ago, the education system in Hoboken and 31 other New Jersey school districts was believed to be inadequate. As a result, the state provided these districts extra funding to help support their growth and development. As a former Abbott district, we still receive very high funding from the state. This funding allows us to provide a stellar education through implementation of a comprehensive set of programs and reforms, as well as supplemental programs and a high-quality preschool education. A 2017 article in New Jersey Monthly indicated that preschool enrollment is up in Jersey City and Hoboken, and that's not just because Hoboken and Jersey City are considered cool places to live. Rather, school administrators say it's a direct result of the opportunity for free high-quality education for 3 and 4-year-olds. We couldn't agree more, and the proof is in our growing enrollment. Take a look at these numbers. During the 2012-2013 school year, Hoboken had a total of 38 classrooms in the pre-K program. We've seen steady growth, and in school year 1920, had 66 preschool classrooms. The following year, we added 4 more classrooms where we remain today at 70. Our goal is to continue to grow and mature our preschool program as the demand from the community rises. I'm sure you're familiar with the term, "it takes a village." Well, the same applies to the early childhood program. Let's talk about the early childhood village, the support staff within the early childhood program. As supervisor of early childhood, one of my main responsibilities, and in my opinion, the most important, is to oversee the academic, social, and emotional development of our youngest students through best program practices. Another asset to the program is Miss Diana Milne. As the Community and Parent Involvement Specialist, Miss Diana oversees the district's family services and assists in facilitating the community's needs. She is charged with organizing family involvement plans and activities, and also coordinates work with other school district professionals, as well as community agencies and the providers. Next, we have the early childhood nurse, who is supported by the elementary school nurses. We welcome Nurse Caroline O'Keefe to our team. Ms. Caroline recently joined our team as the health specialist for the program and will consult with providers to maintain a safe and healthy environment for our students and educate the preschool community on healthy habits. She also reviews health and immunization records, conducts screenings, and plans for any special health care needs of students who are attending the program. Ms. Denise Valentine Brooks is our early childhood clerk. She is responsible for creating, inputting, and maintaining all of the preschool student records and other day-to-day tasks. Also providing support to the program, we have our early childhood teams, the master teachers, and preschool intervention and referral team. The role of the master teachers is to maintain high levels of quality by assisting and supporting our amazing preschool teachers. Master teachers, as outlined by the New Jersey State Code, coach, provide feedback, demonstrate and provide exemplary early childhood best practices, and maintain regular communication with classroom teachers to support ongoing, developmentally appropriate learning experiences. The master teachers host an array of professional development opportunities in the form of training and professional learning communities, so our teachers can stay current and continue to learn and grow as educators. They also collaborate very closely with the PIRT team in order to meet not only the instructional needs, but also the social emotional needs of the classroom as a whole. This team is comprised of Nicola Ligo, Giselle Rodriguez, Yahaira Santiago, and Kristen Shadiak. The Preschool Intervention and Referral Team, or PIRT, primary role is to provide support and suggested interventions to teachers for children who are exhibiting challenges in the classroom. In accordance with New Jersey Code, this team also coaches teachers on teaching practices and provides strategies that support the pyramid model and social emotional learning. Additionally, PIRT members discuss and provide resources to teachers and families to help support social, emotional, and relational competence in young children. The PIRT team includes Carolyn Best, Dr. Yesenia Flores, Loretto Martinez, and Tracy Schulten. Another aspect of the early childhood team is to host a variety of parent workshops throughout the year. These workshops are designed to improve and support parent participation. Under current provisions, the parent workshop series went virtual and covered topics such as mindfulness and self-care, the ABCs of behavior, and an overview of the program's curriculum Tools of the Mind, just to name a few. Both teams are a critical piece to the early childhood program. We round out our support at the provider level, and I'd like to introduce you to Judy Barmack, the Executive Director for Miles Square, and Jocelyn Estevez Vargas, Vice President of Early Childhood Programs for HOPES. Judy and Jocelyn are supported by the program directors for educational supervisors as they are referred to within their respective organization. Judy Barmack is the executive director of Miles Square. Her first experience with Miles Square was when she was a contract administrator for the state of New Jersey. She was assigned to Miles Square when it first opened, and she's been with the program in some capacity ever since. The Miles Square program serves 660 pre-K3 and pre-K4 students at 6 locations across the city. Brand School at 215 9th, Early Learning Center at Calabro on 6th and Park Ave, Wallace Elementary School on 11th and Willow, St. Francis on 3rd and Jefferson, the David E. Rue Building on 3rd and Garden, and the newly acquired site, 7th and Jackson. They have a very talented staff that supports a rigorous and robust curriculum for all of the preschool students that they serve. In addition to providing tools of the mind activities to Fidelity, they particularly emphasize friendships by forming relationships with their peers and teachers. Jocelyn Estevez Vargas is the Vice President of Early Childhood Services for Hope's CAP Inc. Hope's has been a partner of the Hoboken Board of Education, providing high-quality preschool services to children and families in Hoboken since 1998. Hope's early childhood program has been accredited by the National Association for the Education of Young Children since 2007. The program can host just under 400 preschool-age students from 3 to 5 years old at 3 different locations throughout Hoboken: Connors Elementary School, located at 2nd and Monroe, the Brand School at 215 9th, and the David E. Rue Building owned by Hope's on 3rd and Garden. Their teachers, teachers' assistants, family advocates, nutrition, and custodial staff, together with their specialists, supervisors, and managers, work hard every single day to ensure that you and your child have the best preschool experience possible. Hope's has several years of experience implementing the Tools of the Mind curriculum, and their staff plan activities that will engage your child in meaningful learning through play every single day. They will learn new skills, make new friends, and enter kindergarten ready to learn. New Jersey's preschool program is exceptional for several reasons. First, all of our preschool classrooms have one highly educated certified teacher who holds a P3 certification. Each teacher is also supported in the classroom by a paraprofessional. Together, these remarkable teams fulfill a variety of roles in today's classroom, including but not limited to direct service to students, parent communication, and curriculum development and adaptation. Additionally, all classrooms are capped at 15 students. Building on the in-class support, the preschool teachers are also supported by the aforementioned specialized teams, the master teachers, and the PIRT. The Early Childhood program in Hoboken operates on a full-time, 6-hour per day schedule as mandated by the New Jersey Department of Education and the Division of Early Childhood Education, and follows the approved Hoboken Public Schools district calendar. Many families inquire about before and after care. We offer these wrap services at all of our preschool sites. This is not part of the New Jersey Department of Education funded 6-hour school day. If you are interested in before care, after care, or both services, you will be contacted over the summer by the provider in which your child has been assigned a seat to arrange this care. The fee for these additional services will vary depending on your income level and your child's degree of participation. It is important to note that the preschool program follows the district calendar, and as such, childcare is not offered when school is not in session. One misconception surrounding preschool education is that it's only preschool. Our preschool program is so much more than that, which is why we take attendance very seriously. Our preschool handbook, which will be given out at parent orientation, discusses protocols for if your child is ill. We also ask that you please be cognizant of the school calendar when planning vacations. The New Jersey Department of Education defines chronic absenteeism as being absent 10% of the total expected days of school. This equals 18 school days and amounts to 108 hours of instruction lost. Our attendance policy states that on the 10th consecutive absence, or when a child accrues a cumulative of 36 absences, that child may be withdrawn from the program and must be re-registered to gain re-entry.
Our preschool program is made up of many sites. Although all sites accommodate for allergies and food restrictions that may be due to health or religious reasons. Along with allergies and food restriction accommodations, all sites are nut-aware environments. A nut-aware environment means that we ask you to be conscious of what snacks or meals that you're sending with your child each day, that they do not contain any nut ingredients. Our HOPES provider does not allow children or families to bring in any outside food. They provide all snacks and meals for all students. Our Miles Square provider gives children the option to bring food from home or order school lunch. This is with the exception of Miles Square at Rue. Here, they provide all meals and snacks for all children.
Our district follows the Tools of the Mind curriculum. Tools of the Mind is a research-based early childhood model combining teacher professional development with a comprehensive, innovative curriculum that helps young children to develop the cognitive, social-emotional, self-regulatory, and foundational academic skills they need to succeed in school and beyond. Tools of the Mind is designed to support the development of all young children. Tools currently serves over 30,000 children in pre-K and K classrooms nationwide and is one of the 4 approved curricula recommended by the NJDOE Department of Early Childhood Education. The curriculum is based on the work of Lev Vygotsky. He believed in the idea that child development is a result of interactions between children and their social environment. These interactions involve people such as parents and teachers, playmates and schoolmates, brothers and sisters. They also involve cultural artifacts such as books and toys, as well as culturally specific practices in which a child engages in the classroom, at home, or on the playground. Children are active partners in all of these interactions, constructing knowledge, skills, and attitudes, not just mirroring the world around them. For Vygotsky, the most effective learning happens when the new skill and concepts being taught are just on the edge of emergence in the zone of proximal development, or ZPD. When this happens, the child does not simply acquire new knowledge, but actually makes progress in his or her own development. In Vygotsky's words, learning leads development. Because tools instructional interactions are designed to help teachers be more effective in identifying teachable moments, assessing children's development, and ZPD, differentiation of instruction occurs naturally and allows teachers to provide challenges and or support where needed to ensure classroom success for students of all learning abilities. So, the central focus for the curriculum is the development of cognitive and social-emotional self-regulation, and of course, the executive functions. What are the executive functions? And self-regulation are the underlying mental processes that allow us to plan intentionally, focus, sustain, or shift attention as needed, remember on purpose, and manage how much energy we put into a task. These are all abilities we draw on when we need to learn something new. These abilities are tied to brain function that undergoes significant development in the early childhood years, and children's environment play a big role in shaping their development. Research on the impact of these core underlying abilities shows that children who develop them have better long-range outcomes into adulthood. They do better in school, have more friends, and are more successful later on in life. A large body of research confirms that early childhood is a crucial time for laying the foundations of the executive functions. So, the curriculum goal is to help students acquire a set of mental tools that foster school readiness and enhance academic success while engaging in individual, small, and large group instruction. These mental tools are, as mentioned, self regulation, the ability to control mental, physical, and emotional impulses, focused attention, the ability to purposefully stay on task, deliberate memory, the ability to recall prior information to help enhance skills and complete tasks, symbolic thinking, the ability to have one thing represent another. Early literacy is exposing children to the connection between the written language and spoken language, how to hold a book, the principles of print, phonological awareness, and letter recognition. And of course, early numeracy, which is one-to-one correspondence, counting, and number and shape recognition. So, tools teachers focus on helping children become intentional and reflective learners, creating a classroom in which instruction in literacy, mathematics, and science reflects children's learning capacity rather than age level expectations. All activities are designed and referred to as games. They incorporate the use of visuals, include movement, have peer interaction, are hands-on, but above all, they're fun, providing students and families the gift of learning concealed in play.
As many of us may come to learn, most 3 and 4-year-olds have a limited attention span and really thrive off brief but engaging activities. Well, Tools the Mind has done just that. Your children will receive a balance of rigorous small and large group instruction while encouraging them to think independently, collaborate academically, build relationships, all while creating a positive classroom culture. Rest assured that regardless of the provider, all children will receive an equal amount of time for academic instruction, outdoor gross motor play, time to mingle with their peers, and time for daily routines. The varied schedules have primarily been designed to reduce overcrowding in our bathroom facilities and surrounding parks in the neighborhood. This is a sample schedule of what a typical day could look like in your child's classroom. So if you take notice that most activities are short and sweet, just like we previously discussed. So when they come into the classroom, they'll engage in a mystery question activity that will really help ease the transition of morning drop-off. And then they'll do an opening group activity where they'll talk about the weather, the calendar, they'll share the news, show off some dance move, and close with a song. Next, they'll wash hands, eat breakfast and snack. And then they'll move on to play planning, which is a fan favorite. It's a bulk of their morning. They'll take those imaginations that they have in their mind of what they want to do for the day, and they'll put those plans on paper. And then once they've done that, they'll carry them out in one of our 6 centers in the classroom. After that, they'll have an opportunity to shake out some wiggles during our gross motor activities, whether it be indoor or outdoor. Once they return, they'll engage in a small group math or science activity, whether they are talking about one-to-one correspondence, number ID, or maybe they're observing some life science materials in the Science Center. Next, we'll move on to large group read aloud, and this will be either buddy reading or large group graphics practice. We'll move on to washing hands, eat some lunch, move on to rest time, which in the first 20 minutes, the teacher will read a chapter book so they can rest their minds and their bodies so they're ready for the afternoon activities. And once they wake up, they'll have an opportunity to pick a center and play in free choice. As the teachers recap and bring some closure to their day, the students will go back to 2 small groups and engage in a literacy activity. Now, the teacher has an objective in mind, and will they learn a new vocabulary word? Will they talk about parts of the story, or will they predict what is going to happen next? And then we have dismissal. And during this time, all the students will gather their belongings as they transition into aftercare, or if they're picked up by a parent or guardian at the end of the day.
In our continued efforts to always providing a high-quality preschool experience for our students, we closely monitor our program using a rating scale that measures various areas within our program. The instrument we use is called the Early Childhood Environmental Rating Scale at its 3rd edition, commonly referred to as ECHRS 3. This widely used comprehensive assessment tool measures both environmental provisions and teacher-child interactions that affect the broad developmental needs of young children in the following categories. First, we begin with space and furnishings. This subscale addresses the areas of indoor and outdoor space, room arrangement, organization, display, furnishings, and equipment. Following, we have personal care routines. This subscale addresses practices around daily routines like greeting and departure, meals, nap time, and toileting, as well as health and safety practices. Language and literacy addresses the classroom's formal and informal communication, language, and reasoning opportunities. Learning activities. This subscale looks at the learning opportunities in each of the areas of the classrooms, including fine motor, art, music and movement, blocks, sand and water play, dramatic play, nature and science, math and number, and diversity. Following, we have interactions. This area addresses supervision of children, discipline, staff-child interactions, and interactions amongst the children themselves. And finally, we have program structure. Here, we address classroom operations and schedule, including groupings, transitions, and flexibility within our program. Once district-wide assessments are completed and analyzed, we use the data to provide comprehensive professional development to all staff that will focus on those areas for potential growth and those areas that we like to highlight of proficiency.
Screenings and assessments. All of our preschool children are screened with the Early Screening Inventory, the EZR, upon entering the program and by the classroom teacher. The screening gauges several developmental domains and assists in simply identifying which children may be in need of further assistance. Our program understands and values the homeschool connection. The EASY has a parent component where we ask you to kindly give us input on your child's strengths and areas of possible concerns, so we also get to better understand your child. We want to address not only your child's academic needs, but their social, emotional, gross motor, fine motor, self-help, cognitive, and language needs. We also utilize Teaching Strategies Gold. We utilize Teaching Strategies Gold in assessing via collection of anecdotal evidence for 38 research-based objectives, which include predictors of school success. Teachers are able to track your child's progress throughout the entire school year. This guides the teacher in selecting and adapting activities that supports your child's development and learning. Gold reports inform classroom practices and individualized instruction.
This is something that I'm sure as a parent you're all very interested in. We believe that connecting and communicating with families is an integral part of our program. It is especially important in terms of building and maintaining relationships. This allows for a collaborative approach in order to provide a supportive environment for all of our students. Our teachers and staff are trained to focus on communication and family involvement in the classroom and in the child's education. We welcome and encourage input and dialogue between families and staff, which can occur through various means of communication throughout the school year. Examples of this might be during drop-off or pickup, through classroom dojo, emails, phone calls, and perhaps during special events that occur at your child's school throughout the school year. With that being said, there are also scheduled times in which parents are informed of their child's progress. Screening information is shared with parents at parent-teacher conferences that are held several times per year. Parents may ask their child's teacher for information regarding their child's performance in the classroom at any time. And lastly, as part of our effort to promote the homeschool connection, teachers will typically share 4 out of 5 play plans at the end of each school week.
In addition to curriculum and instruction, gross motor, also known as outdoor play, is an important component in our children's development and educational experience. Recess provides the perfect opportunities for our children to practice their gross motor skills, but also hone their socialization skills that are introduced very early on in the fall and practiced and discussed throughout the school year. In accordance with our early childhood licensing requirements, children are required to go outside daily unless there is active precipitation, extreme heat, or extreme cold. Nonetheless, our amazing teachers are always well prepared with fun and engaging activities if they're unable to go outside with the students due to inclement weather. In these cases, our teachers facilitate their gross motor time indoors utilizing the gym or classroom.
Parent involvement in our preschool program is extremely important. The reason it is so important to our program is because research shows that the best predictor of student success is the extent to which families encourage learning at home and involve themselves in their child's education. So, how can parents be involved in our program? All parents are encouraged to volunteer in their child's classroom. They can schedule a time with their teacher to help out with events and activities. Parents can also volunteer to come in and read a book, share about their culture, or engage in a fun craft project. Parents can serve on the Hoboken Early Childhood Advisory Council, or the HECAC, and join the parent group at the site that their child attends. Our program also provides informative parent workshops throughout the year. These workshops are presented by provider staff, master teachers, and the preschool intervention and referral team, and are geared towards providing research-based instruction on how to support your child's learning and social emotional development.
Hello, I am Caroline O'Keefe, the new nurse for Hoboken Early Childhood Program. I would like to provide you with some information about health services and requirements specific to our program. Your child's health and wellness are an important part of attending the program. As the nurse, I support the preschool program by partnering with our providers to promote health and wellness to students as well as the families. I will be monitoring immunizations and physical exam statuses to ensure compliance with the New Jersey Department of Health regulations, observe the growth and development of the child, and conduct basic health screenings. Provider staff attends to the daily care of the children, and they are permitted to manage the basic health needs of students as well as administer first aid or medication as needed. Nurses also coordinate the management of health conditions in the school setting and collaborate with supportive services to assist in the early identification of health concerns that may impact learning. Health education is also a primary nursing focus to shape healthy habits in the formative years. Health documentation is an important part of the enrollment process. Every child that attends preschool in New Jersey must be fully immunized according to the regulations set forth by the New Jersey Department of Health, and proof of vaccination must be submitted upon enrollment. An official vaccination record is required and must clearly state the name of the child, date of birth, and vaccination dates for each dose. Another very important part of enrollment is having a current and completed physical exam. We ask that you complete the Universal Child Health Record, the standard form health record for our program for the physical exam. The physical exam must be completed within 12 months of starting school in alignment with the child's age while attending. It is important to note that an updated physical exam is required to be submitted annually while enrolled in the program. This will be part of your child's school records, so please be sure all paperwork is clear, legible, and filled in completely. To the right, you will see the Universal Child Health Record that needs to be completed with the physical exam that was discussed on the previous slide. The form is available on the district website as well as Google under Universal Child Health Record New Jersey. Parents will be required to complete Section 1 and bring the form to your primary healthcare provider to fully complete Section 2. Please have it signed and stamped by your provider. The immunizations that are required for preschool attendance according to the New Jersey Department of Health are listed here for your reference as well as on the district website. A child must be in compliance with vaccination requirements by the time they enter school, and all requirements apply to either in-person or virtual learning. A child shall not be admitted to school without proper vaccinations or exemption. Therefore, we ask that you pay special attention to the list of required immunizations to ensure your child has what is necessary to attend the program. Religious exemption to vaccinations is allowed in New Jersey. To apply for religious exemption, a parent must submit a signed statement that indicates the child will not be vaccinated based on religious beliefs and includes the date, the name of the parent, and the name of the child. If a child receives vaccines after a religious exemption has been granted, the exemption would become null and void. Please note that philosophical or moral objections are not acceptable in the state of New Jersey.
My name is Dr. Cecilia Sanchez Dalia, and I am the Director of the Special Services Department. I'm here to assure you that we work very closely with our providers and teachers and all other preschool staff to identify students who may be in need of special education and/or related services. If limited response to supports and interventions crafted by PIRT and master teachers is found, then it may be time to refer the student to the child study team for an evaluation. And we have the early childhood team dedicated to our youngest learners. Referrals for an evaluation come from teachers, parents, and sometimes early intervention service providers. Once we determine that an evaluation is needed, we proceed with various assessments to determine if the child is eligible to receive a special education program and/or related services. If the child was referred before their third birthday and they are found eligible, then they are placed in a preschool class by the time they turn 3 years old. Even if it is mid-year, they will finish out the rest of that school year, and in September, they will start in a pre-K 3 class to have a full pre-K 3 experience. The classroom or where that child is placed will depend on the types of services that the child needs. The student's progress will then be monitored very closely throughout their entire 2 years in pre-K 3 and pre-K 4, and they will receive another evaluation before they transition into kindergarten. The members of the child study team are the following professionals: the learning disabilities teacher consultant, otherwise referred to as the LDTC, school psychologist, school social worker, speech pathologist, and of course the child's teacher. Rest assured that parents are considered part of the team whenever an evaluation, placement, or program decision needs to be made. If you have questions about any aspect of the special education process, please don't hesitate to contact me using my contact information that will be provided at the end of this presentation. We also have available Ms. Jen Hernandez, who is a supervisor in our department, and our dedicated clerk, Ms. Jackie Nunez. Thank you very much.
In order to apply for the Hoboken Early Childhood Education Program for the 2022-2023 school year, you must be a resident of Hoboken. Your child must turn 3 or 4 years old on or before September 30th, 2022. This year, preschool registration will take place during the 4th week of March. Like the previous year, registration will take place online. The online registration portal will open on Monday, March 21st at 8:30 a.m. and close on Friday, March 25th at 3 p.m. We will host one on-site registration date on Friday, March 25th from 8:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Reservations are required. If you need an appointment, please call our office at 201-356-3695. On-site registration will take place at the David E. Roos School, located at 301 Garden Street. Documentation required: 1 copy of your current lease, deed, or mortgage statement, 1 copy of your current cable, phone, utility bill, bank, tax bill, or credit card statement, a copy of your child's immunization records, a completed physical exam, a copy of your child's birth certificate or passport, a copy of your photo ID or passport. Applicants must reside in Hoboken. Each applicant's proof of residency will be checked by the Board of Education Residency Verification Officer. Children must be 3 or 4 years old by September 30th, 2022.
Across our mile-square city, we have 7 locations in our ever-growing program. In alignment with the New Jersey Department of Education and Department of Early Childhood Education regulations, we are only responsible for offering a seat in one of our locations. As such, we cannot accommodate special requests such as site or teacher preference and do our best to fulfill transfer requests. Our presentation will come to a close momentarily. However, before we part, I wanted to discuss preschool placement. Before I begin, it's important to note that the elementary and preschool placement are two separate processes. As much as we try to accommodate and have siblings attend the same location, it becomes very challenging due to the amount of available seats per site. The early childhood program does offer priority placement, and there are several factors we look at when determining student placement for preschool. We begin with those who are identified as children with special needs, followed by children who are Head Start eligible, those students who come from low-income families, or those who are considered homeless. The top two bullets are mandated by state regulation. As a courtesy, the district considers another accommodation, and that is to pair children with siblings who are in grades 1 through 12 for the upcoming 2022-23 school year who are already enrolled in the Hoboken Public School District. This does not include charter schools. This tri-pronged priority process is our first step in filling our preschool seats. After that, we use a random lottery selection based on the number of projected and approved seats. We receive a lot of questions about our preschool program, so we created a few slides with some of our most frequently asked questions. Can I enroll my child in a half-day program? Do preschool students currently enrolled need to register again? When will I find out where my child was placed? Adding to those questions, we often hear, what happens if my child does not get placed immediately? Furthermore, we're asked, will my preschool-age child be placed with their sibling? Can I choose my preferred provider or site location? Can I request a location transfer? Closing out some of our FAQs, we are also asked, can I swap my seat with another family in the program for a provider or location of my choice? Does the Hoboken preschool program encourage mixed-age classrooms? Does my child need to be potty trained upon entering the program? We are happy to address any lingering questions you may still have, so please don't hesitate to contact us with any questions or concerns. You can also email our dedicated registration email address at eceregistration@hoboken.k12.nj.us, and you'll be assisted by someone from the early childhood team. We look forward to welcoming you and your child into our exceptional program. This now concludes our presentation. Please stay tuned for our live Q&A and closing remarks. This concludes our presentation. Please stay tuned for our Q&A session and closing remarks.